and welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy Boulanger, and up next, man, we're still having the conversation about a total offensive rebuild for the Baltimore Ravens. In my first video, when I began to talk about this, I was talking about tearing down the entire offense, leaving no stone unturned, uh, figuring out how to move on from Rashad Bateman, figuring out how to move on from Devin Duvernay. And you may not have to do anything with Devin Duvernay. This is his last year under contract. And so you can move on after that point. Moving on from J.K. Dobbins at the end of this year. And I laid out how we could, if we traded Lamar and got those picks, we could certainly go young at running back. We can go young at quarterback and also wide receiver, and then having those additional first round picks over the next couple of years, you could totally rebuild the offense and continue to add good quality depth to the defense. And so this is going to sound like a hot take, but it's not intended to be. I believe that if we're going to rebuild, we need to go ahead and move on from Mark Andrews as well. You could trade Mark Andrews right now for probably a first and a fifth, a second and a fourth, something like that. I think that go ahead and just turning all of the soil over on offense. Yeah, I know you can't do anything with Ronnie Stanley or some of those other guys because Ronnie Stanley's contract is too lopsided. They're upside down with Ronnie Stanley, but I think that you can certainly go ahead and move on from Mark Andrews and get some good cap relief in 2024. Because my take is that there's no point in having a franchise tight end if you can't find the money in your budget to sign your franchise quarterback. And so this idea came to me, as I was watching some of the highlights from the NFL Combine. And so when I looked at some of these tight ends, man, I was amazed at their size, their weight, and their speed. So um, I'm gonna show you some of these highlights from the 40. Pay attention to the height, weight, speed. Pay attention to the names. I'm gonna point out a few guys that I think would fit the Baltimore Ravens offense under Todd Monken. So let's go.
Davis Allen, darn near a 6'6" tight end from Clemson, runs the first 40 for a tight end here at the scouting combine, and it's a 4.86.
Pleasantly surprised. I had some questions watching tape a little bit, and then hearing his comments about having the cannon arm. I'm like, okay, are we going to see any?
One of the best performances the combine.
So stay aware of this guy, Tucker Craft. He's highly touted at the tight end position. Pay attention to his 40 time, and then he's going to run again later on in the second round of the 40. So pay attention to this guy.
Mine is a thrower that I've seen, but in terms of helping yourself, who helped himself the most, I think, was DTR.
Yeah, we've seen Drew Brees. Again, he could see it. He knew how to play. He was that same height, and he's one of the best that we've ever seen. So I think it is rare.
So this guy right here, Zach Krunz, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Pay attention to him. They're going to highlight him in the second round of the 40 as well. And I'll talk a little bit about him when we get back to him. Also, be aware of a guy by the name of, I think his name is Darnell Washington. He's a Georgia product. Pay close attention to when they talk about him here in a few minutes.
Since 2003 to measure at least 6'7" and jump 40 or more inches at the combine, and that was the number 1 overall pick in 06, Mario Williams.
These top tight ends can all run right now.
Little Mallory from the U. Live. I mean, that's happening tonight. I mean, I know it's Travis Kelce with his personality, but an NFL tight end is hosting SNL. By the way, I'm 474 for Michael Mayer there.
Great time here as well. He's moving, guys.
462.
Clean start.
Moving.
It's a great time.
6'5". Way to pass the buck, Coach. Not my decision. It's his. 470 for Brenton Strange.
You knew they were getting excited, wanting to get one of those.
So all of these guys, man, are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and they're all running 4.7 or below. There's a couple of guys who tipped up to the 4.8, but most of these guys are big, strong, fast, and most of these guys perform real well on the field drills as well. And so to do a Mark Andrews comparison, Mark Andrews is 6'4" and about 250, a little bit more, and he ran a 4.59 in the 40. And so these guys have very similar speed to Mark Andrews, but they're going to be exponentially cheaper. Now check this next guy out. This is the guy named Darnell Washington that I told you about. He is a guy that is from Georgia, and who knows him better than Todd Monken? This guy is 6'6", 264. Now watch his 40 time. It is absolutely amazing.
Guys as well.
How about the size of this tight end? Darnell Washington from Georgia. He is enormous.
Oh my gosh, we're 6'5".
This guy that big, 6'6", 264, runs a 4.65 40. So think about it from this context. He's the size of Darren Waller as far as height, but he's about 30 pounds bigger than Darren Waller and runs almost just as fast. And so I think this guy, Washington, could certainly be a guy Baltimore has their eye on, especially if they choose to move on from Mark Andrews, specifically because Todd Monken knows this guy very well.
Blake Whiteheart of Wake. 4.7.
Enormous, and they can all move. Gosh, Wiley, that's a smooth run.
All right. Dashes from very, very tall men. Davis Allen. 4.84. Like, I guess, if you know how with the Pro Bowl games where they're having the players do other sports.
Correct.
This is kind of like a pilot if the NBA wanted to have 40-yard dashes instead of their dunk contest or something like that.
It is. That's a basketball
These
team
are like
out there.
power forwards, essentially.
This is a good one here in Tucker Kraft.
Running 40-yard dashes.
Okay, so here's Tucker Kraft again, a guy I mentioned when he ran the first time. If you look at both his times, he's a 4.7 and in the first and a 4.7 in the second, which means his true time is 4.7, which is pretty good for a guy 6'5", 250 or bigger.
I mean, if this is one of those amusement parks where you have to be certain height to ride the ride, what's the cutoff? Like 6'5.5" for this ride? Zach Kuntz,
he might be
5'5".
Now, this is the guy I was telling you about, Zach Kuntz from Old Dominion. This guy is from what I remember, this guy is 6'7". If you look at his 40 times, he ran a 4.61 the first time. He runs a 4.55 this time, which means his true time is under 4.6. That is fast for a guy his size and his weight. And so what I'm saying is there are tons of options, young options in the in this NFL draft, truly a deep draft at tight end. And I'm just saying from the context of cap space, you know what I'm saying? The part of the reason why the Baltimore Ravens are not going to sign Lamar or have been reluctant to sign Lamar's cap space and guaranteed money, that kind of thing. So what I'm saying is if going young at quarterback is going to be a cost-cutting measure, then we need to go young and not spend any real cap space on other positions and just allow all these young guys to grow together. Young quarterback, young wide receiver, young tight end, a young center, and Lindenbaum, so on and so forth. And so I know that just like most fans, I would love to see Lamar come back along and keep Mark Andrews, but I'm just saying it doesn't make team building sense to let go of your franchise quarterback, but keep a tight end who is somewhere between $13 and $14 million and will be that over the next couple of years, where you could trade him, get some picks, which we know Baltimore likes picks, and also free up some more cap space to continue to build. I think that Baltimore, if they go on a total rebuild offensively, could certainly continue to build out that defense and then have a solid defense in place for 2023, 2024, and beyond. So that's my take, man. Let me know if you guys think I'm totally crazy with this total rebuild and moving Mark Andrews to free up some cap space and get some draft capital, or if you guys believe that we should stick with Mark Andrews even if we restart at the quarterback position. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM. Please hit the like, hit subscribe, share it with a friend on your way out the door. I appreciate you guys.